When it comes to murder, two minds are better than one. An illicit affair ends with a bang.
It was a trick, a cold-hearted trick.
A nurse gives her patients too much TLC.
She'd completely bamboozled him with sexual control.
And a greedy niece speeds up her inheritance.
Last chance.
It was very callous, very unnecessary, very unforgiving.
These deadly women like company when they kill. For them, it takes two to terminate. Morgan City, Louisiana, 1927. A bayou town on the banks of the Atchafalaya River.
The South doesn't get any deeper than Morgan City, Louisiana.
Enjoying a leisurely life as one of the Southern gentry is 38-year-old Ada LaBeouf.
Very good, you learned it.
Socioeconomically, they were at the top of the heap.
Her 42-year-old husband, James, has a high-powered job.
James was very important. He ran the power company as a superintendent, and that meant a lot of time away from home.
But money can't buy happiness.
I didn't know you'd be home so early.
After 20 years and 4 children, it's a loveless marriage.
There was so much tension in that home, and there was so much volatility between the two of them.
Husband James is often away on business for days at a time.
How long will you be away?
4 days.
Ada ensures she is never alone for long.
Dr. Dreer was the real deal. He was the country doctor that made house calls and actually cared about his patients.
You never miss a signal.
Of course not.
His patients came first, especially Ada LaBeouf.
What seems to be ailing you today?
I have a terrible headache.
For Ada, Dr. Thomas Dreher's excellent bedside manner is between the sheets.
Dr. Dreher risked a great deal. He was the most respected member of the community. He was married and had children. He would have lost all of that if this affair had come to light.
Ada ensures her lover never crosses paths with her husband.
Ada and her lover set up a code so he would know when it was safe to come over. She'd hang a pillow slip up in the window, indicating that the coast was clear.
Neither lover can afford to get caught. They go to great lengths to hide their love.
The cover of respectability is what really helped the two of them. She was married to somebody kind of important. He was a doctor beloved by everybody in town, so they were able to get away with this for a quite long time.
I'll be home to prepare the dinner.
Their secret rendezvous occur at the family home and down by the river. The comings and goings start to arouse suspicion.
We both know where she's off to.
There was a lot of gossip. It's a small town, so people are talking about it.
James must be the only one in town who doesn't.
Pretty much everybody knew.
The scandal is exposed when the good doctor's wife, Gertrude, receives an anonymous letter.
Mr. LaBeouf.
Whatever's the matter?
And the note said something like, you know, there's some partying going on down in the shack on the bayou, and it's your husband, and it's Ada.
Mrs. Dreher takes it and shows it to James LaBeouf. Not a smart move.
Thomas and my wife?
But she goes there, and LaBeouf goes round the bend.
Why, those filthy traitors.
Humiliated by his wife's affair, James can't contain his rage.
Treacherous whore!
What?
James is livid. He is very, very mad and very upset and hurt.
Infidelity with the doctor!
No, I promise.
So he goes to Ada and said, look, is this going on? If it's true.
Lie, the whole town knows!
She denies it.
He's only treating my headaches.
Give you a headache!
Stop it! Stop it!
James doesn't believe her. He takes matters into his own hands.
James is so convinced that that affair is true that he wants to kind of catch the doctor.
James vows revenge and goes to extraordinary lengths to trap his nemesis.
He would dress in his wife's clothes and ride around town with a shotgun on the seat next to him, hoping that the doctor would see him and mistake him for his wife, Ada, and the doctor would come up to the car, and then James could kill him with the shotgun. This is not a man with his head screwed on straight.
James will do anything to settle the score. But he's not the only one setting a trap.
He was no match for that woman.
A warm summer's night in Morgan City, Louisiana, 1927. Ada LaBeouf springs a surprise date on her husband, James. It's not in a fancy restaurant. It's in a humble canoe.
Let's enjoy ourselves like we used to.
After the affair came out, Ada tried to make amends with her husband by suggesting a moonlight boat ride.
The rage James feels over his wife's affair melts away tonight.
It was moonlit night on a lake. They started paddling out.
Come on.
But there will be no romance tonight.
Another boat appeared.
Wonder whom the devil that is.
Ada has invited other guests.
Almost there.
Her lover, Dr. Thomas Dreher, and his hired henchman, James Beadle.
It was a trick, a cold-hearted trick. Ada convinced her lover that her husband was probably going to kill him if he didn't kill her husband first.
What the heck are you two doing here?
Say goodbye to your wife. Ada, you get out of here.
The men bring the tools needed to conceal their crime.
James LaBeouf's body was cut open from the chest down to the pubic bone. This exposed all of the intestines. The murderers removed the intestines, much like gutting a deer or field dressing a deer.
Every detail of this murder is planned.
Cutting out the intestinal organs was brilliant because it made certain the body would not float. Weighing it down with angle irons was also brilliant because it made sure the body would stay on the bottom.
Well done, Beetle.
There is just one problem with their perfect plot.
The unfortunate part for them was they dumped the body on a sandbar at a high tide. The waters receded and some frog giggers came and found the body.
If they had taken the body a few feet further and dropped it in deeper water, I think they would have gotten away with murder.
When the body is identified, the police soon get wind of Ada's affair.
We know about you and the doctor. Make it easy for yourself. Tell the truth.
It wasn't my idea.
She confesses to knowing of the shooting, but claims she's innocent.
I really don't know what happened.
She blames her lover, Thomas.
Ada threw him under the bus so fast, claiming that she and her husband were out for a nice boat ride, and the doctor and James Beadle came out of nowhere and shot her husband. Of course, that wasn't true.
Thomas and his henchman also turn on each other.
Nobody took responsibility for anything that night. It was just sort of a, finger-pointing match, and Ada was right in the middle of it all.
Police have to figure out who to charge.
A hunter would be more practiced in that art. A surgeon would not. But a surgeon would certainly know how to do it.
In the end, in 1927, all three are found guilty of first-degree murder. James Beadle is sentenced to life in prison.
James Beadle is just a simpleton, really. He's a pawn in this whole game between Ada and the doctor.
A harsher sentence is handed down to Dr. Thomas Dreher and Ada LaBeouf. Both are sentenced to death.
There's no doubt that Ada was the mastermind, that she was the one that was making every bit of this thing happen.
In February 1929, Ada becomes the first woman to hang in Louisiana.
Just before she was hung, Ada complained to the hangman that the rope was too tight. She had no idea how tight that rope was going to get.
Ada's insatiable lust for excitement costs 3 lives and leaves her 4 children orphans.
I think Dr. Dreher and the affair Ada had offered her something she hadn't had in 20 years, being married to James. Affection, sex, and I'm sure it was very thrilling, and she got swept away.
A nurse dedicated to caring.
She needs to be loved by everybody. She needs to be perfect.
Gives her patients too much attention.
She used the psychiatric unit as a hunting grounds.
And must remedy her mistakes.
Failure was not an option for her.
In 1996, Sydney, Australia. Psychiatric nurse Kathy Yo is devoted to her patients at the rehabilitation clinic.
Kathy was a really talented young lady, And she'd also risen very, very quickly through the nursing ranks to clinical nurse manager by the time she was 26.
Kathy steps on a few toes on her way up.
Susan, can you go to supplies? We're out of stationery.
Kathy wasn't very well liked by her colleagues at the hospital. They regarded her as being uppity and bossy, and they didn't really like working with her.
She's not only bossy. Kathy takes her role as a carer a little too seriously.
Kathy had had an affair with one of the patients.
I know what medicine you need.
She used the psychiatric unit where she met many people as a hunting ground to find sexual partners. Highly unethical, but she did it.
The patient, Mark, checks into rehab to kick his habit. He is soon addicted to another vice.
We've got someone who's at a very, very low point in their life, and she's also got him under her spell sexually.
Patients on psychiatric units or rehab units don't need intimate help from staff members. It would only make things worse.
It's not like Kathy needs the attention. She's living with a man who adores her.
Raymond and Kathy had been together for about 3.5 years in a very passionate and tempestuous relationship.
What's it like, babe?
Usual problems.
41-year-old Raymond Galea is putty in her hands.
I'm a bit tired.
Do you want me to give you a rub?
She was a very controlling and dominating woman who picked these vulnerable puppy dog men who were prepared to do anything for her.
Ray is blissfully unaware of Kathy's other life.
She was living with him, but she wanted more. Kathy might have been drawn to the high-risk nature of the relationship. It was illicit.
Risk is a double-edged sword. Kathy's strange behavior starts tongues wagging.
She was called in by the assistant director of nursing and confronted about it.
Kathy, these are serious allegations.
They're outrageous allegations.
Witnesses have come forward.
When she was brought in to see her bosses, she actually denied it
I would never.
and started dry retching. That, she could never do that. And she obviously did a good job because she got to keep her job.
Kathy salvages her career, but doesn't learn her lesson.
Eventually, the relationship with Mark ended. But it wasn't long before Kathy found another victim.
31-year-old Christopher Dorian is battling a heroin addiction.
He had a 10-year-old son, and he also worked part-time as a kitchen hand. He'd had some troubles in his past, but he was also studying at university and was doing quite well. So he really was on the road to getting his life back.
Hi, I'm Kathy, one of your nurses.
Hi.
Kathy gives Chris her special attention.
Are you studying?
It's this computer stuff,
Chris was very, very vulnerable. He needed assistance and support, not sexual involvement with the staff member.
Before long, Chris and the nurse can't keep their hands off each other.
She was visiting him every day. Which started to ring alarm bells all through the hospital.
Before there's an investigation, Chris checks out of rehab. And Kathy checks out with her old boyfriend.
I just can't understand it.
I told you, I met someone. He's my true soulmate.
When Chris was discharged from his treatment program, the relationship with Kathy became more intense, so much so that this time she left Raymond.
Ray was devastated when Kathy ended the relationship.
It's over.
But Kathy is now obsessed with her new conquest.
Kathy keeps a journal, and in one of her entries, she details her love for Christopher. And she says, "I cannot and will not live without Christopher. He has spoken of marriage, and I can't imagine any other man that I would be able to be married to."
Within days of moving in, Chris is having second thoughts.
Where have you been?
I worked overtime. I want to get my kids something nice.
What about me?
Huh?
What did you get me?
The relationship between Kathy and Chris started to deteriorate rather quickly.
The psych nurse can't cope with rejection.
Kathy was deathly afraid of failure. I think failure was not an option for her.
Early June 1997, in Sydney, Australia. 26-year-old psychiatric nurse Kathy Yo moves in with her former patient, Chris Dorian.
She says he completes her and that he is an integral part of her life.
But Chris is not so sure.
Come on. It's a Friday.
The magic they shared at the clinic has disappeared.
The honeymoon period ended very quickly.
You want me drunk, don't you?
Don't blame your weaknesses on me.
Get away from me.
Don't talk to me like that.
Just get out, right?
And only a week after they moved in together, there were already drunken fights and arguments.
Kathy has only one person to turn to.
What does she do? She calls the old boyfriend to come and get her.
He dropped everything in the early hours of the morning and came over and picked her up from the house.
She deserves better than you.
Raymond had been dumped by Kathy for another man.
Come on, let's go.
But he was still her lapdog and would do anything she wanted.
There's something more Kathy wants from Ray.
Ray?
And it's not his love.
Kathy went to Ray's place and took a gun out of a locked safe.
She doesn't take kindly to being dumped.
Kathy was very afraid of being rejected. She needs to be loved by everybody. She needs to be accepted. She needs to be perfect.
I should get back together.
Kathy is desperate to get her new lover back.
I said no, all right? You need to leave.
Chris has obviously come to his senses during that time, and he tells Kathy that it's over.
Oh, just get out!
He said to her, "You've ruined my life."
That's enough to push Kathy over the edge.
She was enraged.
Fueled by a fear of being rejected, fueled by fear of being found out that she was still having an affair with a patient.
Nobody dumps me.
No, Kathy, don't!
She shoots Chris in the head.
It's easy to use a gun to kill somebody. It doesn't take a lot of force to simply move your finger and pull a trigger. In some ways, it was almost too easy for her.
Ray, I need your help again.
The first thing that Kathy does when she's in trouble, she rings Ray, and Ray comes running.
She made a deal with Raymond. She said, help me get rid of the body, and I'll go back with you.
Kathy had these blokes wrapped around her finger.
Kathy doesn't want to get caught with a body.
They dismembered it.
She wants to erase her lover's identity.
They then get a black bag, sports bag, which is Ray's, and they put Chris's head in the bag with his identification. And they go down to the Cooks River and they throw it off into the water.
Nurse Kathy thinks the river will forever hold her secret. But it doesn't. 2 weeks later, the sports bag washes up on shore.
As far as the rest of the body pieces, nobody knows where they are because they've never been found.
Inside the bag, Kathy has left cops a convenient clue.
If you're trying to get away with a murder, it really doesn't make sense to most people to put the victim's identification in with his head. Police discovered Chris had been a patient at Roselle Hospital and that he had been having an affair with Kathy. She automatically became the prime suspect in the murder.
Her faithful servant Ray is also incriminated.
The 3 bullets found inside Chris's head had come from Raymond's gun.
Raymond Galea is found guilty of accessory after the fact to murder. He is sentenced to 5 years behind bars.
She'd ruined his life. You know, she'd taken a pretty upstanding kind of guy, completely bamboozled him with sexual control and made him a murderer after the fact.
Kathy Yo is convicted of murder.
She was found guilty and sentenced to 24 years before she's eligible for parole. She's right where she needs to be.
Trained to care for others, Kathy instead fed her own addiction, preying on weak, vulnerable men.
Kathy may have thought she had a strong hold over men, but she didn't have a hold of Chris. Unfortunately for Chris, that's why he's dead.
They say blood is thicker than water, but a lust for riches.
The goal was to get the money.
Beats everything.
Very callous. Very unnecessary.
Carthage, a small rural city in Leake County, Mississippi, June 1983. 46-year-old Vernice Ballinger's morning routine is interrupted by a newspaper article about her aunt, Myrtle Ellis. The 75-year-old has been in a car accident, but that's not why she's made the papers.
She had a large sum of cash with her in the vehicle when it happened, approximately $60,000.
An elderly woman driving around with so much cash is highly unusual.
That amount of money in 1983 would be about $200,000 today.
I just want to make sure you're okay. Okay, sit tight. I'll be over in a minute, okay?
The fact that she had that money was reported in the local newspaper, which may or may not have been a wise thing to do.
Vernice thinks it's very unwise. Her aunt lives alone in the country.
By all accounts, she was just a gentle, elderly lady.
Oh, does that hurt?
Her niece fears the publicity will make Myrtle a target for thieves.
What were you doing carrying all that cash around in the car? You could have been mugged.
But I wasn't.
Vernice wants to make sure Myrtle's money is safe.
Where's the money now?
In the bank.
Really?
Miss Ellis told Miss Ballinger that she no longer had the money at her house or on her person, but had deposited into the bank. Miss Ballinger did not believe her. She thought it would still be at her home.
And she is not the only one. On July 9th, 1983, Vernice's worst fears come true.
What are you doing here?
He approached Miss Ellis, wanting to know where the money was.
Where's the cash?
The two robbers think this job will be a piece of cake.
When Myrtle was asked to hand over the money, she said she didn't have it. It was in the bank.
No, it's in the bank.
Don't lie to me.
They didn't believe her, or at least weren't satisfied with their answer.
It's in the bank.
When intimidation doesn't work,
No, please.
they use brute force.
This was a cowardly act. Two grown men decided to beat up a frail 75-year-old woman.
He even went to the point of placing the pistol up to her head.
Where is it?
And pull the trigger.
The gun isn't loaded, but it is still a weapon.
They then began to beat her, and beat her even more severely.
They hit her so many times that she lost consciousness.
All right, search the place.
After Miss Ellis could not or would not tell them where they thought the money should be, they proceeded to search for it.
It's not his side. Let's go, let's go, let's go!
The men flee empty-handed, leaving the elderly woman beaten and unconscious.
It would take a very cold person to be willing to resort to doing harm to a lady like Miss Ellis just for a little bit of money.
But Aunt Myrtle is made of tough stuff.
Myrtle was a spicy old gal, and she did not go down easily.
She regains consciousness and drags herself outside.
She was having difficulty breathing. Her face was bloodied. Her limbs hurt. In effect, she was running for her life. When she dragged herself outside, she was afraid they might return.
And they do. Her attackers return with help to finish the job. They find Myrtle outside and assume she's dead.
She's done for.
They set about destroying any evidence they might have left.
Then they proceeded to burn down the house. Thankfully, she was not in it.
Firefighters can't save the house, but they can save the victim they find in the garden.
Do you know who did this to you?
Myrtle recognized one of the thugs but won't say who it is.
She told them that she knew who had done it, but she didn't want to say anything. She didn't want to get them in more trouble.
Okay, I see some oxygen now. Okay, Myrtle, nice deep breath.
Police are baffled by the crime and Myrtle's tight lips. She's protecting someone. But who and why? In Carthage, Mississippi, July 9th, 1983. A brutal home invasion leaves 75-year-old Myrtle Ellis fighting for her life.
Myrtle, do you know who did this to you?
She knows who attacked her.
Who was it? Get some oxygen now.
But won't reveal their identity.
The fact that she knew who did it, but didn't want to get them into trouble. This tells me that she was forgiving, that she was kind.
Police have no leads. And they get no more information from Myrtle. She dies 10 days later, taking her secrets to the grave.
Myrtle's chest injuries were the equivalent of having a concrete block dropped on your chest from a second-story window.
Myrtle Ellis was a sweet old lady, but she died a horrible death.
The crime could have remained unsolved, except for a bizarre chance encounter 9 years later.
It was quite by accident that the group of killers was caught.
Police go to a house to serve some civil papers. But the female resident thinks they've come for a different reason.
When she saw law enforcement in her front yard, she blurted out before she knew what the real reason for being there was.
We hear about that murder my husband committed in 1983.
And of course, that got the ball rolling.
It's the home of James Head, one of Myrtle's killers. He soon confesses and names his co-killer, Ronald Ritter. But he insists they're hired hitmen. That the brutal murder is a family affair.
Surprise. Hey.
Organized by Vernice Ballinger. She asks her husband, Mac, to find some thugs.
I brought you guys in on this, all right? I could've run anyway.
This is no loving niece.
Any questions?
Where is it?
Well, somewhere in the house. Check the doll she's mended, the seat cushions, and check her bra. I don't know, check everywhere.
Vernice actually told the men who were going to rob her aunt to tear her house apart to find the money.
I'll give y'all $10,000 each for your trouble.
She drives her gang of thieves to Myrtle's home.
Front door's always open. She sits in that same chair every day.
Bernice and the other three rode out to Miss Ellis's house. This was a scouting expedition, I suppose you could call it.
You're gonna need these.
Vernice wants them to terrorize the money from her aunt.
Vernice supplied weapons, guns, to the men.
But she won't be there personally. Vernice will be safely at home.
She's somewhat of a coward, sending somebody else to do the dirty work.
Mac is the lookout.
Hello?
It starts as a robbery, but things don't go according to plan.
Where's the cash?
I haven't got it.
The men return to Vernice empty-handed.
Well?
They got nothing.
Her henchmen bungle the job.
Well, did she see you?
I don't think so.
And leave one loose end.
She was concerned that Miss Ellis may have seen the vehicle they were traveling in and recognized it, or that she may have seen Mac Ballinger.
You get back there, and you make sure she can't talk. Well, do it!
Come on, you two.
Vernice wanted her aunt killed because she needed to eliminate a witness.
Vernice gets her wish. Her aunt dies, and the fire destroys all the evidence. Until a slip of the tongue unravels the whole plot.
I would expect that something like that happening was the last thing that Miss Ballinger would have expected to happen. She probably thought she had gotten away with it.
Ronald Ritter, James Head, and Mac Ballinger are found guilty of murder and sentenced to life.
All of the men turned on Vernice as the mastermind of this crime.
In 1993, Vernice Ballinger is found guilty of capital murder. She is sentenced to death for a senseless crime.
Vernice's aunt told her the money was in the bank, but Vernice wasn't very bright and simply didn't believe her. Vernice could think of only one thing, and the truth didn't matter. She wanted that money.
Vernice is not executed. She dies in prison of natural causes in 2002.
She died a lonely old woman in her prison cell. For Vernice, crime did not pay.
These deadly women not only kept bad company, they put it to use. Ada LaBeouf and her lover cheated her husband out of his life. Kathy Yo was no Florence Nightingale. And Vernice Ballinger hired goons to kill her aunt. Murder was not a game they wanted to play alone. For these women, it took two to terminate.